I'm here for everybody, is what I'm here for, because everybody's here for me.
Would you state your name and address?
Yes, sir. John Hayes. I'm gonna be real brief, because I found some homework too. This is a document produced by y'all. And it says that the special exemption shall be in sustainable harmony with the area which is located. I don't believe that's gonna be so. On the second page, impact. The development should not negatively affect property values, public health, or safety in the surrounding area. We've already covered that. But let's talk about the solar farm, which is really an electrical substation. Carrie Cook. It says electrical substation. What grows on electrical substations? Nothing. If you don't mind. Because we put herbicides on them. And I'm the guy who's taught this book to thousands of people. Thousands. And if you'd like to talk about pesticides, you asked them, I think Dr. Clay, you asked about a fence. We're gonna maintain that with herbicides, with chemicals. We can't mow it. It'll break the glass. We're gonna spray it and we're gonna control it with herbicides and, toxic pesticides.
Yes.
Forever. Until they're out of there. And where are these pesticides going? It's the headwater of Rafting Creek. Rafting Creek starts from there, kids. And where does it go? The watery river.
Yes.
Okay, no big deal, a couple broken panels. Al, you missed something. We're gonna take the trees and stumps, we're gonna take the trees out of there. But what are we gonna do with all these stumps? Big stumps that are in the ground. We're gonna pull them out. We can't take them to landfill, they won't take them. We'll pile them up and we'll burn them. We'll throw a tire in there, some diesel fuel. We'll be fine, they'll burn for months. And then there's something called an air inversion. At night, that's when the smoke settles back down. Right around your houses, kids. But don't worry, somebody else will be out of town. 3.6 million pounds of debris. 3.6 million pounds. I'm good at math. Real good. What's that? Smoke, fire. Will that burn quick? No. We'll keep turning it and moving it. And then we got the ash. What are we gonna do with it? I guess we'll bury it. Where is right? In the creek. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. We're gonna level with big machinery. Then we're gonna bring our own fuel on site because there's no gas station in Borden, no fire department, no EMS for these 300 short-term jobs. People get hurt all the time on construction sites. We level it, we compact it, we got red clay. That's why the water river's red. But we'll have more red clay from that side because it's predominantly red clay. And a question was asked to the other side, or the representatives, how are you gonna cut the fence? How are you gonna maintain it? And it was some sidestep. They're gonna use pesticides. These pesticides. I can sit here for weeks and teach you guys about this man. But I don't think we have that much time. So, I don't know. That's about all I got.
Thank you, sir.
The health risks of solar farms is something that has not been addressed. In a 2025 article in Solar Reviews by J.D. Smith, these are direct quotes, are solar panels hazardous waste? Although most of the material on solar panels are aluminum, plastic, and glass are easily recycled, some of the other essential components are different. Different varieties of solar panels contain metals present in the semiconductors of the solder. Some of these metals, such as lead, cadmium, are harmful to human health and the environment at high levels. You're talking about 1,500 acres approximately. Solar panels, I believe that qualifies as a high level. What are the health risks living near solar farms? According to the World Health Organization, there is a high risk of electromagnetic hypersensitivity associated with living near solar farms. This condition is characterized by a range of symptoms that are triggered by exposure to the electromagnetic radiation fields. These symptoms can include headaches, fatigue, skin rashes, and sleep disturbances. He goes on to say, a study in Australia a study in Australia, which happens to be the home country of this outfit, found that people who live near solar farms are more likely to experience headaches, dizziness, and nausea. There could also be an increased risk of cancer in people living near solar farms. If these things are put in a landfill, it is the equivalent of 1,200 football fields full of glass. This is not addressed by the funds put up for decommissioning. Decommissioning covers taking these panels down. I want to know who in the world is going to pay for the Sumter County landfill to manage 1,200 football fields worth of glass.
I'm a lifelong resident, I'm an adjoining landowner, multi-generational family, long time in Sumter County. The scale of this is unbelievable. I've been trying to look at this map up here and read the scale on it, and it's hard to see that little bitty line at the bottom. I think it says 4,000 feet. Y'all realize that this, it's about 4 or 5 miles from one end of this to the other. And probably a mile and a half or 2 miles north and south. It's the same size as Shaw Air Force Base. How many people does Shaw Air Force Base employ? Tens of thousands. Tens of thousands. This is gonna employ a few hundred to build it, and it's gonna employ one person. You watch. One person in a little security truck putting around the perimeter every day to make sure the fence. Make sure there's a tree down. And I'm telling you, it might be 2 of them that they can take a break. All the solar farms I've seen, the panels are broken. They're never aiming in the same direction. They're tilting. I have friends who have farms already in place. I have heard stories of them in North Carolina. And the developers build them, they get it in place, they turn around and sell it to another big investor, and they're like, well, that's not my problem. They're like, well, so the landowner's not even getting paid when they're not generating power, but nobody comes back to even fix that, so they just let it slide. So the landowner gets less and less and less over time than too. So the maintenance of it, it's gonna be an eyesore, and it'll never go back to agriculture. And I know y'all said that y'all, you want to put it back in timberland and all in agriculture. And I appreciate that, but I don't think that y'all said y'all don't sell any land. Well, the land that bordered y'all, I bought it from y'all. It was 100 acres. The solar farm never approached me. A lot of people never even knew about it. And y'all said, I was at the meeting in Rafting Creek. And I want to point on that. They did the little community outreach, but it was 5 miles or 6 miles to the Rafting Creek Community Center from where the actual site is. I've been asked to talk on that. When I got there, I was the only, there were about 25 people there. Mr. Belzer was there, I was there, and one more landowner that's been approached, Donnie Shire, but he backed out of that thing. So I was the only, land representative person there that even would be contacted. Well, they sent out 1,800 postcards. Where was everybody? So it's a little barbecue they had, and they had a presentation with all these fancy printouts, setbacks, and all of this, and video cameras, recording it, taking pictures. This big PR thing with all these nice names, Treaty Oak, White Palmetto Solar. They use all these friendly names, and but it was about 15. The other 25 people, 10 of them were from Texas. There were about 15 local people, and including Mr. Belton. So I asked him, I'm like, where are you from? Well, I'm from down in such and such. I'm near Texas, down in Texas, just south of Dallas. I said, okay. How long you work for the company? Oh, I worked there about 9 months. Okay, how about you? Well, I worked here about a year and a half. I was like, well, when was this company founded? As he just said, they just founded this company in 2023. Is that right?
22.
3 years.
Yeah.
All right, the LLC just changed names in March of this year, 3 months ago. So we're talking about turning over 1,800 acres of our land in this county to a corporation from Texas that was founded 3 years ago, that changed its name 3 months ago, to a company that's owned by another company from Australia. And they're gonna use Chinese solar panels. Does that make any sense?
Order, please. Thank you.
Sorry.
Alright, what we have, it's enough being said that we have like over 100 people or 200 people here. The last I heard is 1,000 or 1,200 people on the petition against it.
Currently, it's almost at 900 online.
Yeah, and we got a printed thing too, so we got over 1,000 people against it. And we have Mr. Bellinger and his daughter, and about 5 people from Texas that are being paid to be here to represent the pro side of it. Y'all can do what you want to on your land, I do what I want to on mine, but we gotta consider everybody in this with the sheer size of it, and the turnout we've had says enough. I mean, we're talking about thousands to 3.
It's instructive. I'm the person that wrote it, and I'd like to read it with your forbearance. It's short. It says, well, I won't say their name. Mr. and Mrs. fill in the blank. Wanted to share with you an additional piece of information I got today. Back on Monday, when I first heard from you, I went back and started trying to figure out why you and the folks you've been talking to didn't get a postcard informing you of the open house. Here's what happened. I think I've mentioned to you that the open house and postcards were not legally required. We did it because we want to be transparent and we want to be good neighbors. Since there was not a prescribed process to follow, we worked with county staff to determine an effective way of identifying people that we thought might want to attend the event. The method that we came up with was to identify the 10 parcels that make up the project and send a postcard to every residence in a 3-mile radius. We communicated this information to the post office. However, their system for identifying homes within a given radius requires a starting address. Since all they had were parcel IDs, they did not have addresses. Rather than looking up the addresses, they decided to simply send a postcard to every address in the project zip code. The problem is, the project is not cited entirely in one zip code. Zip code 29128 encompasses the majority of the project, and that is where all 1,800 postcards met. What got missed is that the one tract of the project to the east of Black River Road, as you surely know, is in zip code 29040. It was an honest, unfortunate mistake. We tried to cast as wide a net as we could, but due to circumstances beyond our control, you and your neighbors on Settlement Road did not get the postcards that we intended for you to get. I obviously can't go back and make the decisions that were made in October based on information I received on Monday. What I can do is remain as transparent as I have always been and share with you what happened. I can also continue to make myself available to you and your neighbors at any point before the BZA hearing or any time after. I'm available for phone calls, emails, or an in-person meeting at your convenience. Please let me know if you have any additional questions or want any additional information. Now, Mr. Dunlap, when you originally brought this up, I think it's an important point, and here's why. This is what I really want to emphasize. What's not important, it's not as important that we did it perfectly. Clearly we did. What's important is, as reasonable folks, which I think you all are, you can read that email and hear that sentiment and think, is that someone that was doing their level best to reach out to the community? I think a reasonable person would say, yeah. And when you also keep in mind, these folks, elected representatives, knew this was happening. And we were encouraging them to tell their people. Now, again, I regret that not everybody got a postcard. Clearly, some of the folks here got one. Mr. Raven came. Well, I'll leave it there. I'll leave that one there. As far as the ordinance, you heard Mr. Rubin and Mr. DeWart tell you that we've done everything that the ordinance asked us to. We'll continue to do anything that the ordinance asks us to, or requires of us, or the law requires of us. We'll continue to go beyond that as people ask, and if we humanly can make things happen for them, we'll do it. I'll stop there. If there's any questions, I'll let us all go on.
I've got one question for you. Y'all didn't have a meeting, it's my understanding, and only 25 people showed up. So if that's the case, you should have known something wrong. The more you educate people, the better chance you have of getting something approved, but there's been a lot of said tonight that people have not been informed. It's just that's not in your favor.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Mr. Dunlap, and I appreciate the comments.
Does anybody else have any other additional comments or questions they would ask of the applicant?
I would like to say something in regards to something he just said. As you can see, I work at the United States Postal Service. I am a rural carrier in Elgin.
Ma'am, I understand your sentiment. No, we're just speaking about our questions to him right now.
Okay, considering he's trying to put blame on the post office.
I understand.
Now, I got proof on my phone when my letter was delivered, and it wasn't a postcard back in October. I got a letter May 3rd for this meeting, for today. Come on. Yeah, come on, bring it on, 'cause my supervisor.
Ma'am, calm down, okay?
Yeah, on 2918.
Thank you.
If y'all have any more questions of me or our technical folks,
Does anybody else have any additional questions for the applicant? All right, hearing none at this point, I'm going to call the meeting closed, the public portion of the meeting closed.
25-14, subject to the following findings of facts and conclusions due to the failure of the special exemption being in substantial harmony with the area in which it is located.
All right, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion?
Thank you.
Hearing none. All in favor of this motion?